watching the Wednesday edition of New Dawn, and now we're looking at something that is very critical. At this point in the history of our nation, everyone is getting set for an election that some people say may make or mar us as a people. Some would even go to 1963, they go to 1993, and then they are looking at 2023, and they are wondering, is it going to be a repeat 30 years interval of all this? Are we going to have a good election? Are we going to have a conduct of an election that people will be proud of? What are the challenges? What are the situations that we will have to face? And what are the prospects? Is there any hope for us as a nation? Considering the fact that even if the umpire is ready, what about the other institutions that are going to be part of the play for the election? But we are not in the position to look at that critically, but we have two gentlemen in the house this morning who will be able to help us x-ray these issues, and I am glad to welcome, it's our pride here, from Ogun State, the former resident electoral commissioner in Oyo State, who by virtue of hard work has been reconsidered for another term, Dr. Mutiu Agboke. We'd like to welcome you to the set of New Dawn this morning.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Of course, he's a legal practitioner and a good one at that. We also have a professor. So when you have a professor and a lawyer right on your set, you know that it's going to be a time for great discussion. Professor Jimoh Olanite, professor and former election ad hoc staff, we'd like to welcome you, sir, to New Dawn.
It's a pleasure.
All right, we're looking at the election conduct, the past and present, for a better 2023. Let me begin from Barrister Agboke here. The past and present, we're looking at the election conduct. How would you say, taking a cue from Osun State, would you say that, can we say we have arrived with the conduct of our elections?
Thank you. Osun State is even the least of all the consideration we may be having to use as a template.
Yeah, no, we're looking at, is the closest,
Now, after 2019, if you examine each of the elections conducted by the commission, the most challenging one was Anambra election. And I'm saying Anambra election because it was like a war. People even told INEC, what are you going to do? What is your business? You want to risk the lives of your staff. Go, you can postpone the election. The atmosphere was not conducive, blah, 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 blah. But the commission went ahead. The election was conducted within the available reality that we had. And after that, it has been successful one, successful one, successful. Now, I am not going to join the people who have zeroed in their mind into the 3333 you have mentioned. 2023 is going to be a watershed in terms of the way INEC has arranged the election, the way of recruitment of our staff, and I'm happy Prof is here. Hitherto, they will just, get their list together, maybe through the union or through the university management, forward it to INEC. That may not be the pattern this time around. The commission is going to screen each individual from the list who happens to be the, what is it called now, the assistant presiding officer 3. Because at the polling unit, you have PO, you have APO 1, APO 2, APO 3. And if you ask me, all of them, we have asked them to go online to apply now. They will all apply. The commission will screen them, select, and do a thorough scrutiny of their person before they are deployed. Now, that election that we are going into is different. And I say it's going to be a watershed because this election, I'm not saying the others' election were not like that, but Commission has come out to say, just last week or thereafter, my chairman came out and said, INEC has murdered rigging in Nigeria. You know, it is not something you just open your mouth and say. If you look at what you have put on, ground, and the reality of those things that we have. In 2023, politicians should know, if they don't know before, they should know now, that nobody will emerge as a winner of that election, except those individuals that people will have voted for. That is number one. Secondly, the sanctity of the result is so guarantee and ensure that no extraneous interference, you know, we have any business to do with it. And this we have tested over time. We did it in Anambra, we did it in Ekiti, we did it in Osun State. I am not saying the process is not fallible. You know, there is no infallible entity in the world. But to a large extent, the Commission has put up all these arrangements to give guarantee, you know, to the electorate. Again, this election we are going into has a peculiar technological device that will screen the authenticity of the personality that is coming to vote. You are coming to vote. We don't take you for granted. Before now, you could be taken for granted that you are there. You get there, the smart candidate disrecognize you. We say, we must not disallow you. No, you cannot disenfranchise me. Okay, bring sheet of paper. They give you a paper. You write your name, your address. You write 100 people. At the collation level, 100 becomes 10,000. All these INEC has looked into it. We said no. Smart candidate, 0. What's it called? Incident form, 0. In 2019, we capture only your fingerprint. But for this election, we have captured your facials and your fingerprint. Such that if one fails, the other must not fail. Unless your family people are running after you. If one fails, the other must not fail. Look at the governor-elect in Osun State. In the interview he granted Channel, they said, how will you rate the performance of Beavers? No, he said, it went perfectly well. He said, when I got there, my face was not captured. But immediately I put my fingerprint like this. You know, PR means that it was. So that is to tell you that one must not fail. Sorry, the two must not fail. If one fails, the other. These are the courage. This is the courage and confidence we are giving the electorate to that election. Come 2023, the Beavers will sanctify and ensure your result is guaranteed. And everybody, Moses here, yourself here, you will not just be talking in the studio. You will carry your phone, your Android phone, and be looking at the result as they are dropping from one polling unit to the other. That is what INEC has done.
Professor, let me start from where Barrister stopped. He said INEC has murdered rigging. Well, you know, before every election, INEC had always been upbeat about, the conduct of free and fair elections. But I could recall that even INEC admitted, after the Ekiti and Osun governorship elections, that several attempts to hack his system during those elections. Is it not too early to say that rigging has indeed been murdered?
Thank you very much. I know that with what we read in the papers and what we hear from INEC chairman, that body has actually done a lot to improve election in the country. From what the barrister has just told us now, all the efforts that INEC has put in place, all things being equal, I think we should expect that things are going to work better. Because I have been involved in election duty since this present democracy.
Okay.
I have been involved at every, maybe except one, as a returning officer.
Okay.
And we have seen a lot.
Okay.
And I'm sure that in each of those elections that we've had, there were also promises from the leadership of the INEC that it was going to be this and that. But at the end of the day, you know, most of the elections that we have had have always been controverted. People have always said this and that, you know. So we have also, as of now, we have heard from INEC, we have read in the papers, but until we, so we know, they know they actually succeeded in the recent elections in those states that you mentioned. But I hope it's not going to be a different ball game when we talk of the national election. Okay. Well, we can only be hopeful. Okay. We can only be hopeful that it's going to be better. I mean, and I think every Nigerian and indeed the whole world will be happy to actually see a new dawn that we're expecting, given the role that what INEC has put in place. Okay. So we can't say it's too early, but my own conclusion is that until the election is conducted and what we expect from it, we get it through. Okay. So that is where we can now, the INEC, the whole of INEC can beat its chest and said we have done a good work, and the whole world will see.
Okay, Barrister, just add it to what you want to say.
Yes.
Just add it to what, because the prof that is speaking has worked with INEC.
Yes.
He has understood the terrain.
Yes.
He knows what he's talking about. Now, from what he's saying and what he's not saying, it looks like, he doesn't totally share your optimism. And I want to add also to what he has said. It is not just that, elections are just going to run. One of the challenges we've had in the past is INEC says elections will start by 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, people are already there. The officials who are supposed to, you just find out that they are still waiting for, and then they will say, okay, they will extend, voting until, and you have 4 years, sometimes longer years and that's one aspect. The PBC collection is also another aspect. How successful, so add to what.
No, we are missing a lot of things together.
Okay.
See, you gave birth to a baby girl.
Yeah.
You fixed the time for the naming.
Yeah.
You call your friends, well-wishers to come and celebrate with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your officiating minister was held down by the Lagos-Ibadan Express Route Traffic. Okay. You gave everybody 10 a.m.
Yeah.
As at 12 p.m., the pastor has not arrived.
Yeah.
Does that mean that naming ceremony will not hold?
But you were the one who said, and if you did your own work well, everybody who wants to go to Lagos now would know that you must, if you're going to get to Lagos,
that is all things being equal. Will you go, because of that, go and hire another officiating minister?
You can do it.
No, the point I'm making is this. PVC issue.
Yeah.
The timing of the commencement of the poll.
Yeah.
That you have, those are different things entirely.
Okay.
Prof is saying that we hope so until we see. No, we don't need any Holy Spirit before we understand this.
Okay.
What will happen? INEC has showcased it in Ekiti, in Anambra, in Osun State.
Yeah.
We are now saying that what you have seen in all this off-season election is the replica of what will happen. And what is the basis? The basis is that when Prof was doing the election, they were doing the election, they were participating in the election in those periods where we were just coming to development, when it was in dark ages, so to speak.
Okay.
Which law says in those periods, when Prof was doing that doc, that vote buying, ballot box snatching is punishable as an offense?
But even now,
which law?
Even in Ekiti.
What happened? No, what happened?
Barrister. Barrister.
I was in Ekiti. What happened?
People still complain.
People never vote buying.
No. What is the proportion of the buying of vote? We are not saying you. God forbid there will be any election that will be conducted, and there won't be any form of inadequacy. God forbid. Not in the world. Not even in the United States of America. So we are not saying everything is 100% perfect. I was in Ekiti. I supervised 2 local government. Yes, EFCC ran after some individuals who are trying to, do the vote buying. But what is their percentage? Compare to what we experienced in 2019. So what we are saying is that things are not the way they used to be. And we are saying don't worry now, 2023 you will see.
Yeah, we'll see.
In 2019, INEC partnered with the security agency. In this off-season election, you know what INEC did? People will say, INEC is not doing anything. You are the one encouraging vote buying. I say, how? INEC was the one that brought in the EFCC into the electioneering. INEC was the one that also invited the EICPC. INEC was the one that was partnering with this, partnering with that.
But some people will say EFCC, all of them, they were just toothless bulldogs. They didn't really do
Stereotype.
It's not stereotype.
And I'll tell you why. Stereotype.
Let's hear it.
How can you say toothless bulldogs?
Who did they capture? Were there records of people that were arrested? Were there records of people that were prosecuted based on that election?
I'm waiting for OGTV to invite either the zonal IVC coordinator for Southwest or EFCC chairman to come here to answer that question.
No,
INEC is not the one that will investigate.
Barrister, you are bringing the semantics of law. You are bringing the semantics.
INEC is to organize the election. There are other stakeholders. I'm coming. INEC is to organize the election. There are stakeholders. Security of the election day is not INEC business. So I'm coming now. Hold on now. INEC is not to secure the men and materials. Running after those who are buying and selling votes is not INEC official. It is not Prof that will, on election day, I don't know whether he's going to participate in this one. It's not his job to run after those who are buying votes. INEC drafted those people in to assist us in sanitizing the process. If you have any issue with that procedure, who do you call? Is it INEC?
No, but what is
who takes what? The
INEC will give guidelines now for whoever is or whichever body is coming.
I'm glad Prof is even talking to you.
No, you can't give guidelines.
INEC is the sole.
This is the education that we need. Hold on, I agree with you.
All right.
INEC has a guideline. After this program, I will forward it to you. I have it in soft copy.
All right.
I forward it to him so that you will not be asking this question again. No. INEC has guideline with respect to the conduct and organization of the election.
No.
I'm coming.
The guideline I'm talking about is at the point the security people, the security body is coming into election. Their original role is not about election.
Is INEC the IGP? IGP has rolled out the guideline for the conduct of
based on the guideline of INEC.
You are not getting it. A security man on election day, first of all, is not to carry arms at the polling unit.
No.
It's not to carry arms at the polling unit.
Exactly.
It's not INEC that says that. INEC sees that in the guideline of the IGP. And we incorporated it. Are you with me now? INEC has its own guideline, which of course also will be guided by the security agency. We are talking about the conduct of the people on election day with respect to infractions. With respect to infractions, who is responsible to carry it out? Who is responsible to forestall it? Who is responsible to arrest? What is the modality of arrest? Who is responsibility to ensure that money is not shared? How do you arrest them? How do you waylay them? How do you set trap for them to arrest them? It's not INEC that will set that. It is security. So if you now have challenges in that's my argument. If you have issues in that, you don't call INEC.
But now let's look at it this way.
Yes, look at it.
You say we can't blame INEC.
Yes.
Now who is the umpire for the election?
INEC.
What are the expectations of the umpire?
Yes.
What at the end of the day?
Yes.
Who takes the total credit for the success or the failure?
The entire stakeholders in the election. That is the misconception you have.
You are brought in.
No, that is the misconception. In our, I will give you the INEC workbook for you to read. You see, the problem we have is there are a lot of misconceptions about what INEC is doing.
Okay.
Everybody, don't say only INEC conduct election. No,
but sir, like,
there are stakeholders in our workbook that you will read there. NOA, security, media, CSO, CB, CBO, all of you come together.
Okay.
We team up together on election day. If there is no security, we'll only go to the field and deploy.
Barrister, please.
So I'm coming. So what we are saying is that it is the INEC that brings everybody together.
Okay.
INEC is the one that conducts the election. If there are security irregularity, how can you say INEC is responsible? When, as a matter of fact, on election day, as resident electoral commissioner, as the chairman, my chairman cannot determine what a security man does on election day.
Okay.
And you are saying it's INEC you blame for security infraction. That is not correct. That is not correct.
Well, Barrister, I think it's
not correct.
And this is quite debatable.
Yes.
Because now we're talking about recruitments of over 1.4 million ad hoc staff.
That is for INEC.
Yeah, that's for INEC.
Yes.
So, and some of them also...
They are not security, they are not, non-ad hoc staff. They are ad hoc staff of INEC. And what INEC will do is to train them on how to do the job of INEC. On election day, how do you organize your queue? How do you ensure that people know how to vote? How do you know how to handle the beavers?
Okay.
How do you ensure beaver did not malfunction? That is for INEC. It is not, no security man will carry beavers. We have no business with them. The only interface we do is to let them know that election is a civil arrangement. Don't become unruly to the electorate. That's all. If any irregularity as to security is there, if you blame INEC, then you don't understand
but Barrister, INEC has always, INEC will bear the brunt.
Brunt of what?
Talk about INEC.
What are you talking about? If a policeman kills innocent, electorate on election day, how will INEC bear brunt?
Okay, now, Barrister.
What are you talking about? I'm coming. We have insurance policy in INEC. Yeah. If anything happens to any of our adult staff, INEC will be responsible by our insurance package. If a policeman die, will I pay for you? Okay. What are you talking about? Which brunt?
No, listen.
Which brunt? Yes, I'm with you.
People have watched elections.
Very well.
They have participated in elections.
Yes.
You see, the emotions of Prof, even though he's not part of the interview segment, is asking you questions because what you are talking concerns everybody.
Yes.
We've seen it, we've watched it, and everybody knows. And you are so optimistic.
Yes.
Now, you've not looked at the Nigerian factor.
We saw Nigerian factor in Ekiti. My brother, I was in Ekiti last
Ekiti it wasn't 100%
Prof. It is
wasn't flawless.
Flawless.
Yeah, there is no flawless election.
If you aggregate all the flawless here and there, you pull it together. On the national scale, it's going to be a big thing.
No, it cannot be a big thing. It cannot be a big thing because people develop democracy had flawless elections.
Of course.
All those flaws that you observe in them, they still had the election.
Okay.
They addressed the flaws, of course. Okay. After the election, you come after 2019. I came to Roundtable.
Okay.
We addressed those issues. Right. Those are the time we realized that no, this happened in 2019.
Okay.
It must not happen
again.
So I'm not talking about flawless situation. No. But for anybody to see any flaw and throw everything on INEC, no, INEC will take his own blame. Give other people their own blame. Media to carry your own blame so that we know that we are sharing your own blame.
We are meant to monitor.
Which monitor? Yes. Now don't let me come to
let's move away from all of that.
Very well.
I think one of the reasons, maybe let's bring the rec down, former rec.
No wahala.
Let's give some kudos to
INEC.
Yes, we must agree. But you will agree also with us that it's not here to huru.
No, it is not. And INEC has never said that because, my brother, when you look at the peculiarity of Nigerian that you talked about, it is a reality that we must live with. Okay. If anybody says, no, I'm going to sleep, it's not. Because politicians, with all these things INEC is boasting around that they have done, politicians are sitting down to find a way of
strategizing.
So we he mentioned it that the chairman came out and said there were efforts to do that. But the point is that, yeah, there were efforts. But the responsibility of the election management body is to make sure that at back end, the security of our gadgets are secured. So we are not saying we have a perfect, situation, perfect arrangement. No, not at all. Because there are still, if we say we are perfect, are we going to say it's going to be Uhuru, in Imo State? That you still have high level of insecurity? And some other part of the northern Nigeria. No, we are not saying that. No, we are not saying that. But we are saying that if somebody is asking me, 2023 election is not going to be different from 1963, I say you are a liar.
No, definitely not.
If someone is telling me that 2023 is not going to be different from 1979, I say you are a liar. It's not going to be different. It can't be better than 1993. I say you don't get it.
No, of course.
Well, Barrister, but how worrying is the security situation of the nation for INEC? We know the volatile security situation in the southeast,
yes.
Northwest.
Yes.
So, but how we also handle this, even though you said it's not
it's not
solely
Moses.
INEC's responsibility.
Yeah, no, Moses. You know what? When I say it is not INEC responsibility, I mean that on election day, INEC is not the one that will secure itself.
Sure, security.
Because of that, you know what INEC is doing? On quarterly basis, and I'm sure from November or December, the chairman will turn into monthly basis.
Okay.
There is always a security meeting. We call it a interagency consultative committee on election security. INEC chairman is the chair, co-chair by the office of the NSA.
Okay,
National Security Advisor. The two of them, they are Chief of Army Staff, Naval Staff, all the service chiefs. All the service chiefs. Because of the vote buying, INEC needed to bring in the EFCC and ICPC. This body is the one that will guarantee. Look at it. You said INEC will give a day for election and postpone. If we give a day for election and the tone or the reality in outside there vis-a-vis security is not realistic, we'll be rightly advised, because we have a platform already that we use. You get the point? For example, look at it. We lose our staff day in, day out. Recently, one of our staff was killed in Imo State. You get the point? Some others were killed during the registration in Niger State. So it is not that INEC is the one that created that platform for engagement in the state. Resident electoral commissioners are the chairman of the committee, co-chaired by the commissioner of police of the state. They assess various risk areas. They look at where there are tensions, where they have to beam their searchlight. These are the things that we do. And I know that because election is fast approaching, that committee will be meeting on a regular basis to give security report. That update is what INEC uses to map out the strategy.
All right, let me come to Prof, because it's easy for us to blame or to judge with the former REC. We've also had returning officers who are professors.
Very good. Very good.
Learned professors who in the ivory tower, the ivory tower, is the tower. And then you find them when they want to now present their report. There was one that was looking at the report and was behaving as if it was not all right. They had to even bring light at a particular point to help one. Now, Prof, how is that your own end? What would you say accounts for all of those inadequacies that we see, even from people that we think should be upholding the status of the law or the integrity of the entire process?
Well, like we have discussed so far, if we said INEC has done a lot and we still have our reservations, we are looking at the human factor in everything. You see, I know that INEC engages people in that place, what we call the tower, because they believe that is where you expect to have the highest level of standard of human conduct. But the fact that humans will always be humans, there is always a bad egg in every, community or every whatever you call it. So if you find anyone that engages in infractions or what you don't expect at that level, so that's the human factor we are talking about. But unfortunately, Nigerians, I mean, let me even say the politicians,
Okay.
they have so made it that the way they discuss it is as if all the election rigging that happens in Nigeria, it is the professors in Nigeria that are doing it.
Okay.
In fact, as I'm talking to you, even though it's not an agreement within members of the academia
Okay.
not to participate, but they have told us the leadership of ASU, for instance, has told us that we should watch it. Whoever wants to accept INEC ad hoc assignment
Is on his
is going to do it on his own.
Okay.
So,
But if he says it's on his own, does
yeah.
it mean anything?
Well, if he does it, if he goes there and commit infractions and so on,
Okay,
he will be held responsible as a person.
Okay.
So that he will not, such a person will not come and begin to tarnish the general image of all academics.
Okay.
So whatever you see that is not right that people have done, they don't follow the rules as laid down by INEC,
Okay.
is personal. It's personal to that person. I'm sure all of us cannot be the same. And whoever knows that you cannot run away from being tempted and all that, should rather not go near the process. Because with what INEC has done, INEC has tried to sanitize the system to make it the outcome of the election to be of what we can always beat our chest and say, yes, we have done something that the world can see. So if anyone goes there now and begin to disrupt that, then that person may face whatever consequences that is due to him.
Okay, well, now to Barrister. As INEC is planning conduct of credible, free and fair elections, some will be somewhere looking for ways to bypass, looking for ways to compromise this system. And given the several attempts, because INEC admitted that there were several attempts to hack its system during the Osun and Ekiti governorship elections. But how confident are you that this system will not be compromised?
You know, usually, even as a human being, no matter how you are regular in your medication, ailment will always knock at your door. If you spend more than required hours on this table, Moses, God forbid, FMC is very close by. Nobody will tell you before you go and see your doctor. In other words, no matter how anybody believes that is devilish, he knows how to thwart a process and so on, the responsibility of election management body is to ensure that it safeguards and protects all its arrangement that has been put forward. In this case now, to ensure that all our technological devices are well secured. And that is why now no INEC official that misbehaves will be condoned by the commission. Some of them that cannot be tolerated in the system, they were shown the way out of the system. Some of them that are threats to the system, they were taken from the headquarters, thrown out of the headquarters to somewhere else. You get the point I'm saying now. So it is the responsibility. So now to ask me that what is the percentage of the assurance or something? No. But I can assure you that attempts will always be made. That's why I gave the example of you using your medication. Yes, no matter how, you will try to be good, but that is not to say you will not be sick. So let somebody continue to be trying to want to penetrate either any of our gadgets. INEC is ready to protect, to stand by the result that will be declared in 2023.
Okay. Now, Barrister, this is one question that I have been a little bothered about. I have here my PVC. It took me 8 years to get this. I have this card. This is a bank card, you know.
Credit card.
I got it within, if you go to that bank,
5 minutes.
I don't want to mention
Within 5 minutes.
Now, there are no chips here. It's just picture and the details. And it took me 8 years. In fact, the day I got it, I posted on Facebook, Ebami Oluwa logo. And you are asking yourself, sir, what is so difficult with PVC? It doesn't have any chip. It doesn't have any, just the name and the picture. I can do it and get it in 3 minutes outside. So, sir, why? And then you now say there are 70,000, 500,000. You have units of INEC stations.
Yes.
They have their list. Can you not, as public service, as CSR, post this?
Now,
Yes, sir.